The other day, I was driving through the city center, and I was stopped at the lights in a line of traffic. I was just looking around, seeing what was around me, looking at the buildings, cars, posters, etc., when I noticed a really odd-looking dude. I made eye contact with the man, and his face seemed wrong. It was like it was almost perfect. I don't mean perfect as in handsome, but it had no sign of aging or any history in it. His face had a light complexion, fairly pale, but not unusually so, and as smooth as porcelain, not a single dimple, spot, blemish, scar, or flush of color. No facial hair, apart from thin eyebrows that were perfectly level and mirror images of each other. They seemed too perfect for normal eyebrows. He had prominent high cheekbones and slender cheeks with a thin nose. He was facing the side of my car from across the street when we made eye contact. It only lasted not even 10 seconds, but his eyes were just emotionless, a dull pale blue like a doll's eyes. After this time, he turned 90 degrees on his heels and walked away in the opposite direction I was facing. When he turned, he had a very defined jawline and chin. The slope of his nose was also very flat, no bump or break, etc. Their overall body shape was tall, about 6 feet, and slim. During this whole interaction, there was no emotion on their face, no color or change at all. As soon as we made eye contact, it felt like it was a mistake. I had a feeling that I shouldn't have noticed him. It was unnerving. It looked at me as though I'd seen something that was only pretending to be a person, like a human-sized doll. I know hyper-realistic masks exist, but this wasn't a mask. It seemed hard like a shell. Has anyone had anything similar? I have no mental health issues, no hallucinations, no drug issues, etc. And this isn't a creepypasta. I believe I had a genuine encounter. Thanks, everyone. Last year, my husband and I were staying with grandparents for a while. The energy in the house always seemed to be neutral, besides an occasional funky feeling that you were being watched, or we would occasionally hear dogs walking throughout the house when they didn't have any dogs, and that only happened when his grandparents went on vacation. Anyways, this one day was just a regular day. My husband was standing next to the bed, and I was laying in the bed. He was telling me something, and out of nowhere I see a very tall man with a black tall hat. He had matted, dark, yellowish gray hair underneath the hat, and his eyes were completely blacked out. His face was pale white, with these black cracks, and he had a grin that went from ear to ear. He looked over to me, standing very close to my husband, and he smiled at me and put his index finger to his lips and said, "Shh," then quickly disappeared. I think he might have followed us from his grandparents' house to the house we are living in now. I only saw him one more time after that incident. I was walking to the laundry room, about to do a load of laundry, and out from behind the door, he seemed to poke his head out and give me that same creepy smile, then disappear afterwards. Luckily, I haven't seen him since, nor do I want to see him again. Last night, around 2 a.m., I experienced the worst migraine of my life. It split from my head and mainly caused me pain in my left eye. When I felt this pain, I couldn't see through my eye, but I could see. I saw these creatures in a void-like place. They were just standing there like they didn't notice me. It was a void, but not like a galaxy, with hues of purple, and then there was a deep nothing, like darkness, a void. I have no fucking idea what I saw, but my friends said that this sounded paranormal. They've been stuck in my mind ever since I saw them, and I need to know if anyone else has seen something similar. noise are very loud and can wake you up. The door in my room is at the end of my bed, a big window to the right side of my room which I was facing. So me thinking it's my brother because it was school holidays and sometimes my dad would drop him off at my house for the day. I peeked to see if it was him or my roommate getting something which I usually just ignore, but when I opened my eyes I saw this dark figure looking down at me before turning around and leaving, closing the door. My thinking it's my brother because brother comes to my room to check if I'm awake and if I'm not, would go watch TV downstairs. I get up, get dressed, and make my way downstairs only to find no one is there. So I thought maybe they went to the store down the street, but they never came back. I brushed it off, but I asked my parents on Sunday and they said they never came to my place. I even asked my roommate that day and they said they never entered my bedroom. Weird. I'll keep this as short as possible. I've only lived in this house for a few years. I've never noticed anything weird or unusual until this past year and a half. I have problems sleeping about 3 nights a week. For some reason, it's usually Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. I would go to a sleep therapist, but I'm not sure if they could help me. On those nights, I usually wake up and I'll lay in bed and try to go back to sleep, or I'll get up to get a glass of water. I try to be quiet if I get up because I live with my parents and siblings. These nights that I'm awake, I always see the same thing. A woman, tall, long black hair, either wearing a white dress or she's nude. I'm never scared. I can move, so I know it's not sleep paralysis, but the weirdest part is that I'm not the only one that sees her. I don't talk about her. I've never described her, but my sibling says that they see her. My mom sees her, and my grandpa does when he stays with us. Last night I didn't wake up, which is odd, but my sibling was sleepwalking, and they ended up in the living room, and when they gained consciousness, they saw the woman standing in the entryway by the front door. Now, I don't believe in the paranormal, I never have, but I wish someone could explain this, or at least come